Our tutorial for Say Hello to Summer. So we're going to first go to our Drive folders and here in the AI tutorial folders. Remember, they're all due week 5. We're going to download not only the Say Hello to Summer, so make sure you download this file, but we're also going to download the typeface that we're going to use with it. Rockwell Bold Condensed. We need to learn how to install a typeface. And over this semester, you're going to do that quite a bit. I'm going to download this entire folder here, and I'm going to show you how to install that typeface. So before we get started, let's go ahead in Illustrator and let's create a new file. File, New. And we want to use inches. And we're going to call this Say Hello, and then underscore, and then make sure you put your name on that file. And you know, we only need one artboard for this, so we're going to hit create. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have all our links in the right folder. So we've created, for the other files that we've worked on, we've put our lessons in this folder here. And see, it'll be in your downloads folder most likely. Make sure you get both the typeface and that link for Say Hello there. And then when you're completely finished with it, of course, you're going to save it to your finals folder so it's ready to turn in. Now we will need our layers, of course. We're going to need some stroke. Today, I don't think I'm going to need this line just yet. I'm going to place that file, place. Remember where you have it at so it links correctly, where you just put it in that tutorials folder. I'm going to place it, Say Hello. And if you click once, see how it's quite small? You know, we need it to stretch a lot larger than that, but if you once again, if you just use that bounding box, it's going to stretch that image. We need to hold down Shift so it proportionally resizes it. Once you have it in the right place there, lock down that bottom layer. Always create a top layer with your name on it on every single lesson. Just make sure your name is on that top layer that you're working on. And once you have that bottom layer locked down, it's ready to go. Now remember, if you accidentally get any of these things that you're placing on the wrong layer, that little dot at the side when you have it selected, and this layer is red, so you can tell that that is on the red layer. I want it on the blue layer. I'll move that little dot down to the blue layer. Now the bounding box is blue. Okay, so let's start on this one here. Let's first start with the typeface. So the summer, the holidays, the enjoy, you are going to actually create all of those typefaces. But the Say Hello to is the first time we are going to place the text. And we're going to do it on a path because it's curved. But the first thing, let's just start out with learning how to put our name on this document. So we're going to use the type tool. We haven't used the type tool much at all. And you have to make sure, see if it has a little pencil with no next to it. You are on the wrong layer. Make sure you select the right layer that's not locked. And just click up here in the corner. And Illustrator is so customizable. The text is so movable. You're not locked into anything. So you can move. Put your name up here, first name, last name. And with the selection tool, you can so easily move it around, but also be careful because just like in that image, you could accidentally stretch it. You never want to compromise your typeface and compress it or stretch it. Let's go to Command T. Try Command T, or go up here to type. It's in the oh wait, they've moved it. It's going to be under window. It should be window. Let's go down to type. They've moved it over here. Window, type, and then character, which is, you see, Command T. I use Command T quite frequently. That will pull up this window here, this panel with both character, so that is the typeface. And if it's not showing options, you can go over to the little hamburger menu on the corner and go to show options. And this gives you, you know, the size of your typeface, if you want it bold, if you want to change the typeface, and if you have stretched it or condensed it, it will show up here in these two. So see if this is stretched. We don't want to run the entirety of our typeface. So we always want these at 100. And if you see 122 points, it's quite large on this document. So if you're stretching it and moving it that way, that's not the goal. That's not what designers want to do. They don't want to run the integrity of the typeface. So use it at the appropriate size so you don't have to stretch it. And these bottom two, now there's a line through this segment here, so you can tell if you hover over these, there's a vertical scale and the horizontal scale. You always want these to be at 100. The ones on top are very different. So this is kerning and tracking. Kerning is a space between letters. Tracking is a space between letters in a whole sentence. But basically, this is A-okay to spread out those letters there for design, for the visual aspects of how that looks or reads. These are okay to mess with. Now, if I had several lines of text, this is leading. Oops, sorry. That's whatever I had pasted earlier. All right, so if I have several lines and I select this top one right here is the leading. That is a space between lines of text. So as you can see, that spaces that out. These are really great design tools we're going to use later. I just want you to be aware of what you have capabilities of. We don't need all of these right now. The other second type tool is the area type tool. Now this is when you type inside of a shape. So if you do want to contain your text to a box or circle or whatever shape, you can absolutely use the area type tool. And I'm gonna have to click just right, just on this corner right here. And it always Greeks first. So Greeking, lorem ipsum is what you use for dummy copy while you're waiting on your writer or your editor or your client to give you the text. And they may say, Greek it for 300 words, this brochure or, you know, this catalog while I am waiting on the text to get written. And that is a common thing that happens. So I'm gonna make this a lot smaller here. But as you will see, I'm gonna just hit Command V multiple times. Let me copy this smaller one. All right, so I'm gonna hit Command V multiple times and you will see it just contains within this box. So it's just over and over again. I'm hitting just copy and paste. Command C for copy, Command V for paste, and it's just staying within this box. If I had text to, but you know, immediately it will come up with lorem ipsum, which is Greeking. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. So that's a few little basics. Now the third type tool, well, there's type on a path, and that's we're going to create a rounded path for this Say Hello to live on here. So one way we could do that is we could use an ellipse tool. So I'm just going to pick a nice bright color and start drawing a circle. Of course, you can draw it from the center. I'm just going to try to hit this baseline here, and I'm going to have to move it around quite a bit to get it just where I want. Now you could draw this, but I think that this is the fast way to go here is just to use this ellipse tool. And I'm going to zoom in because I want to really make sure I got along that baseline as close as possible there. And if you need to directly select anything and pull it over, we really want to make sure our baseline matches very similar right underneath these letters. All right, so once I have a path, and this is a closed path, that's a shape that I created. Now I'm going to show you how to install that typeface. So we downloaded that typeface. I'm pretty sure I put it in my tutorials folder. but I would suggest keeping a fonts folder, especially as you're designing, as you're creating new fonts. So let's just make a new desktop folder. And I'm going to put fonts from, maybe you even label it from what class it's from and what semester it's from. So then I can go back later. So it's on my desktop here. I've created a little font folder, although you can keep it inside your 2313 folder. And this is just where I can keep all the typefaces I'm going to download all semester that I'm going to design with. Okay, so let me show you how to install this font on the Mac. So this is a .ttf font. Most fonts are .ttf, TrueType, or OTF, OpenType. Just double click on it and it will give you this window. It's really easy since there's such a thing as font book. It's not difficult. And I'm just going to click install font. And now it should give us a choice for that Rockwell bold condensed. When I use my type on a path tool.